Hello everyone and welcome to this presentation on Corporate Governance Index for UB Finance PLC for the years 2023 to 2024. This analysis combines document reviews, regulatory data and stakeholder feedback to understand how UB Finance is maintained transparency, accountability and ethical leadership within Sri Lankan's financial sector. Let's begin with the purpose of this study. The purpose of this study is to evaluate the level of corporate governance compliance at UB Finance PLC. Governance here was benchmarked against the CA Sri Lanka Code of Best Practices, OECD Principles and UK Corporate Governance Code. A Corporate Governance Index or CGI was developed to quantify the company's adherence to key governance principles. This report focused on 5 governance pillars. They are board structure and effectiveness, CEO and executive management, stakeholder rights, shareholder protection, and transparency and disclosure practices. This study draws on key governance theories. There are agency theory. It highlights the importance of mechanisms that align management interests with those of shareholders to reduce conflict. Stakeholder theory emphasizes creating a value for all stakeholders, not just shareholders, promoting sustainability and ethics. Stewardship theory focused on trusting managers to act as responsible stewards of company resources. I also refer to global indicators like the OECD principles, S&P governance scores, and SEG indicates adopting these frameworks to suit UB Finance unique context as a licensed financial company in Sri Lanka. Methodologically, this was case study approach using both primary and secondary data sources. These include UB Finance Annual Report from 2022 to 2024, Corporate Governance Disclosure, Filing with the Colombo Stock Exchange, and Compliance Report from the Central Bank of Sri Lanka. I used Likert scale scoring system, assigned different weight to each governance pillar. For instance, the board of directors received the highest weight because of its central role in governance. The final CGI score was calculated using a weighted average method based on 16 governance indicators. So, what did the analyst reveal? UB Finance PLC achieved an overall corporate governance index score of 80.22%, which is significantly higher than Sri Lankan's banking sector average of 65.25%. Among the key strengths were highlight performance in disclosure and transparency scoring 90%, store governance by the CEO and executive management scoring 86%, and well-structured and qualified board of directors with an 80% score. However, several weaknesses were also identified. Their board independence was only at 43%, falling short of recommended 2/3 standard. The company did not have an ethical committee in place in either 2023 or 2024. Certain board committees, such as nomination and related party transaction committees, lacked sufficient meeting frequency and independent leadership. That said, there were encouraging improvements from 2023 to 2024. A succession plan was introduced, board meeting frequency increased, and public disclosures become more transparent and detailed. Through strength, corporate governance further study makes several key recommendations. First, UB Finance should establish an ethics committee to oversee white-browing system and ethical conduct. Second, it's crucial to increase board independence to at least two-thirds of board's composition. Third, stakeholder engagement should be enhanced by introducing ESG metrics and sustainability report. Fourth, the structure of board committees should be improved through formal charters and appoint independent chairs. Fifth, the board size should be expanded at least 9 directors, aligned with benchmark for effective governance in financial institutions. And finally, publishing the evaluation result of directors and board committees will improve transparency and build stakeholder trust. Implementing these recommendations will help UB Finance align even more closely with global governance standards. Theoretical and policy implications. These findings have significant theoretical and policy implications. They reinforce agency theory by highlighting the importance of oversight and controls to protect shareholders' interests. At the same time, they reflect shareholder theory emphasizing ethical leadership and inclusive for all stakeholders. Ultimately, the case of UB Finance demonstrates that good governance is not just about compliance, it's about fostering a culture of transparency, ethical leadership, and sustainable value creation. From regulatory perspective, UB could serve as a model for evaluating governance practice in Sri Lanka's non-banking financial sector. To conclude, UB Finance PLC has shown a commitment to strong corporate governance. Its 80% CGI score indicates significant compliance with best practices and emerging culture of ethical governance. However, there is still room for improvement, particularly in areas like board independence, ethics oversight, and stakeholder engagement. With this enhancement, UB Finance has the potential to become a leader in corporate governance excellence with Sri Lanka's financial sector. Thank you for watching.